Okay, so I've just pressed record.
Right.
Okay, so welcome to Peas in a Pod. It's the 20th of June 2022. And we're talking
Jeez.
about food with the master chef, Peter
Don't know about
Westfield.
that.
What's your middle
Don't
name?
know about that.
Is your middle name John?
Jack.
Jack.
From Jack. From Nana
Yes,
Jack.
yes, from your grandfather.
Yeah.
Peter Jack Westfield, the amazing chef. And if you ask him anything about food, like you wouldn't even imagine there would be a quiz show about food, but if there was, he'd win.
Well, I'd say
You know-
someone. I'd say something, and I would. The way I say things, I normally like. It sounds like I'm right.
But sure does. I mean, I can confirm that what you just said about Milo in an amazing speech that would,
Well,
it belongs at Yale or Oxford University. You to get up and give a speech to the university students about how to prepare a cup of Milo, and
hey,
I was just brilliant, including instructions for doing the dishes afterwards. It was just amazing, mind blowing.
well, it just makes it easier.
And now we've got into carob, because we're talking about things
Carob.
that aren't.
Are we still talking about carob?
No. I'm just saying there were things that were inferior. Like we're talking about Milo, and then what the hell is Ovaltine?
Activate.
What is that? Activate. What is they? It's got to be
Most
medicine.
inferior.
Like
Yeah.
that tastes that bad compared to Milo.
Yeah.
Right?
We didn't even
Milo
mention
stuff.
Nesquik, because I reckon Nesquik's probably close behind Milo.
Yeah. Of course,
On a
Nesquik
different-
tastes amazingly good, right?
Yeah.
It's like how cocoa smells.
But that
Like
goes all
cocoa
like,
smells good, but
you
you don't.
can't.
It's like flour.
Yeah. But you can't eat the Nesquik because it'll make you cough. Like you can't eat it like Milo.
But
It's
you
just
can have
not
it
dirty.
strong. Like if you only had 2 teaspoons of milk left, right? You could still put 2 teaspoons of Nesquik and just go thick, cloggy, and then lick that shit with your fingers.
You could,
It's
or you
fine.
could put it on a Jat. You could put it on a Jat's cracker.
I don't know if that would improve it. I don't know about mixing, savory biscuits with chocolate in any way. Like Nutella's a bit weird for me, even.
No, but what about salted caramel? Do you like that?
Yeah, but I don't really understand. I've never had it outside of being inside a commercially available Magnum ice cream or something.
Oh, well, like it's the whole it's because often in desserts you'll add a bit of salt anyway, but you won't taste it in the end. Like it's just a tiny bit, it almost accentuates the sweetness in a dessert. But then in something like a salted caramel, it's got the bitterness from the caramel, but then they over salt it so you can actually taste the salt, and then it sort of almost balances with the sweetness. I really like it. And
what's in the McDonald's caramel sundae? Is that salted?
It could be. It probably is. It's very trendy at the moment.
I've always liked it. Like, I mean, but of course, in fact, of all the fudges, of all the chocolate sauces I've ever had, and I'm talking about the highest level restaurants and everything.
Like the fudgiest of the fudge. There's so much fudge packed into that like there could possibly be no more fudge in there.
The McDonald's chocolate fudge is like if I had to live off that, that'd be fine.
Well, you mean like on the like the ice cream thing, sundae, like a sundae? Yeah. Shit, it's been a while for me for that one.
Well, see, I mean, I can't eat a
that's
sundae
just like Cotty's.
while I'm driving because that's like
Cotty's. It's like Cotty's chocolate sauce just heated up, isn't it?
Dude, are you serious? Cotty's is nothing compared to McDonald's chocolate fudge.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't realize it was a
McDonald's chocolate fudge. So what happens is you're going through drive-through and you can't pull out a spoon and start eating while you're driving with your knees and stuff. It's just too many things. Because you're trying to roll the joint in one hand, you got the fucking spoon in the other hand. Where are you going to sit the ice cream in between your nutsack, and then you start scooping, and it's also all dripping. It'll take your eyes off the road and stuff. It's just too much mess. No. Here's the solution: you get the sundae, you get the thick shake, the vanilla thick shake, or the chocolate thick shake. You're going to go hard, and then you ask them to put 2 squirts of chocolate fudge in there. And now that McDonald's have introduced, sensible straws, except I think they've gone backwards by doing paper straws, and then you're fucked. But if they have the thick plastic straw, it comes up, you're drinking cold ice cream milk, which is the vanilla thick shake, and then hot chocolate fudge. It stays hot for the next 10 minutes. It's fine. It remains warm inside the drink. It's amazing. Probably just pure MSG. I don't know what it is. It's fucking amazing.
Pure MSG.
But what we don't
Interesting.
like, we decided we agreed on this, is dried apples.
No, I don't like dried apples. I'm not a huge apple fan. I'm a big fan of apple juice, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of juices. Like, if I was gonna have a juice, apple would be up there with one of my favorites. But I've got this weird thing, like especially with Granny Smith apples. If I bite into one, it makes my whole face like cringe.
Like having a lemon squeezed into your eyeball.
Nah, it's not. It's different. It's like it's not fully uncomfortable, but it kind of is. It's like I'm being like held up against a wall or something. You know, it's just like, oh, what? What is that?
It's like somebody's raping you in your sinuses.
It's kind of, yeah. That's kind of that's a good way to explain it. Yeah, and like I don't want to have another bite. I'm just like, but like a soft, like a jazz apple or a gala.
No, but a lot of these apples look the same, whether they're bruised internally or fresh, because the skin just remains.
I think it's the tartness of the Granny Smith apple that gets me, and it just it gets right. It makes my like whole mouth spew with fluids. Like, I don't know. They're trying to reject it.
Do you remember toffee apple? Did you have that when you were a kid?
Oh man, yeah. It's been
that's how olden days.
Way more than 20 years. It's been way more than 20 years.
Have you seen one for sale in the last 20 years?
I can't remember seeing one.
Half the time, those apples were rotten inside. It was terrible food. Just like, I mean, that's seriously, we're from the olden days to remember even eating those
half
things.
Half a centimeter of red sugar around the outside. Yeah.
Do you know how to make one?
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Cool. Which is like you just cook sugar and water to like a certain degree. Softball, probably about, from memory, I think it's about 120 something degrees Celsius. And then you colour it with your red or your green, and then you get your apple on a stick and you dip it in, and then put it somewhere, and it just chills back and just hardens.
So you stab some kind of skewer type thing into an apple core, into the core of the apple, just like you would with a chicken skewer sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
This one has to be bigger though to take the whole weight of the apple, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't even remember the type of stick, if it was a paddle pop stick or something.
I can't remember either. Yeah.
But I do remember they're pretty gross. So it's a surprise, and the center still has an apple core. They don't decore the fucking apple, so you can eat the whole thing. But it's your job now. We're giving you an apple. It's covered in toffee. Your job is to not eat the core and deal with the fucking remains.
Well, you can eat the core if you want. It's just a bit of
nobody's gonna eat the fucking core. So
some people do. I've seen people stare. I've seen people look me in the eyes while they're eating the core of an apple.
That is a dangerous. If I saw somebody do that, I'd be like, this belongs in a horror movie. This guy's about to kill everyone.
You know what the same guy did? He ate a kiwi fruit without peeling it. Oh, like he ate that like an apple and just stared at me while he was eating it. I didn't even know what to do.
Gesture.
I didn't know. I felt like attacking something.
Dropped all your weapons.
I didn't even know what to do. I was confused. Yeah, it was. I think I pissed in his lounge room at some stage.
I want to go back to the quick fire questions about just foods versus other foods and stuff. Ready? Okay, so I was talking to you earlier. I said, because I love nachos so much, and even if I have a cold pizza, I want to dip it in tzatziki. I'm wondering what the best sauce or dip is for each individual food that I mentioned here. Okay, so
but obviously it's for personal taste. But yes, let's carry on.
All right. Well, so I said chicken skewers, and you said
satay. I mean,
and I said lamb.
Mint sauce,
and then
mint sauce and gravy, but mint sauce if it's one.
All right, steak.
Cafe de Paris, like the butter, Cafe de Paris butter and steak. That's it. That's all you need.
Okay. What about roast beef?
Gravy, like pan gravy from the roast.
Okay. What about corn chips?
I mean, we were talking about nachos. There's so many different ones. Like if it was just going to be one,
you don't have to choose a Mexican. You don't have to choose a Mexican flavor. Do whatever you want.
What do you mean? Who the fuck else makes corn chips?
No, you don't have to. No, you can invent like whatever you want.
All right, blended cabbage. I don't know. Fucking.
You'd really choose that over guacamole or
No, I wouldn't, and that's what I'm saying.
no, I'm asking you for the best, and I think you've given examples of the best so far.
No, but I think with that's a tough one. I mean, it's just got to be some kind of salsa, like tomato salsa, then I guess. But like a chunky tomato salsa. That's going to have
You know,
to be the best.
if I had a corn chip with salsa on it, I still feel it's naked. It needs to be dipped
And
again.
cream. You need you need like a half teaspoon of sour cream on top of that, or guacamole.
Right. Sour cream and salsa can work together. All right. What is the best if you're going to make chips? And I'm talking about put them in a basket and deep fry them. What's the best thing to turn into a chip? What was that?
Probably. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Bluetooth just ran out. I'm on the phone.
Yep.
Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, still recording.
Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's better audio actually.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So where were we at? The corn chip.
Yeah, what would be the best thing to turn into a chip if you were going to deep fry something and sell thousands of them?
Well, I mean, it's got to be potatoes, dude. Like that's just the classic. I mean, people have tried to do zucchini chips and pumpkin chips and like yeah, they're great, But like, if you're talking about pumping out chips for the world, it's fucking potato chips, man. That's it.
Okay.
That's what it is. But I mean, I don't know if the Irish grew beetroots instead of potatoes back in the day. Might be beetroot chips. Who knows?
No. I'm surely familiarity isn't going to make us choose.
I just because there's so many different types of potatoes, but I mean, you know, only so and you need to know the right ones for the right if you're going to fry them.
Okay, what's the best way to make or shape to make a chip? Because now we've got wedges, right?
Yeah, well, that's just a different way of cutting them.
Is that the only difference?
Of course it is. What do you reckon?
All right. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe it has to have skin on it or something to make it extra crunchy. I don't know. Or maybe some batter.
No, they do put a skin. When the ones you buy in the supermarket, they put a skin on them. Like they
put a skin.
Yeah, like a dextrose skin. Like they make like a dextrose to make it like extra crunchy. But look at the shape of a wedge. All the inside bits, like so you know, it's kind of like a triangle, but a weird shaped triangle. All the inner bits, they're from the inside of the potato. There's no skin anywhere near that. But they're still like they're still consistent from the edge to the middle. So they put their own skin on them.
Three types of chip shapes that are very common. McDonald's.
Let's just call them all chips because basically that's like Italian pasta. It's all the same. Most of it's I know. Like 99% the same recipe, exactly. And then they call it like
mouthfeel. Because I mean, I'm talking about let's ask you about McDonald's.
Yeah, well, chips, mouthfeel. Yeah, sure.
Chips. McDonald's chips are skinny ones, right? French fries.
Yeah. So there's more oil contact. So there's more oil contact, and you cook them quicker. So
which is your favorite?
I got to say, a good French fry, I'm a big fan of. If it's like nice and hot and nicely salted, yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Would you
probably
want
more so
any bend to it?
Sorry?
Would you want there to be any bend to it? Let's say you've got a 3-inch long chip. Would you expect it to remain sturdy and crunchy the whole way through?
Nah, that kind of shit doesn't bother me. They come out like I'll pile my because if it's French fries, I'll just grab my fingers and just grab the first couple of chips available, push them into the other chips, possibly pick up a few more on the way through, and then just shove them in my mouth. Like,
but you know, in the United States,
that 3-inch chip, mate, I've just cut its legs off in 2 seconds. It's just boof, 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 and then it's in my mouth.
What you're saying now, we're assuming there's salt and oil in this chip, right? They're the two flavors you got. Oil, or 3 flavors: oil, potato, and salt.
Right? Yeah, love it.
That's blasphemy in the United States. You go into any McDonald's, and somebody would say, "Where's the ketchup? What you gave me fries, you didn't give me the ketchup, right?" It's amazing. Right. They're just like these tiny little bags of like less than a teaspoon of ketchup.
I remember they've got them here as well. I mean, when I was younger, I thought it was good value to get those things, and I used to squirt it on the fucking side of my cheeseburger thing and dip my chips in there like a proncy little teenager I was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just bullshit. You just eat the fries. If they're good fries, they're good fries. You don't need your little dipping things. That's so prance, mate. Like,
so how
get
minimalist? Off. Well, that's the whole of the United States of America. Everyone's eating it with ketchup. All right.
Great, good on them.
So that, I'm asking again then about dip, because obviously they would probably, if it was, see, I don't know if it's because it's so commonly available to get the ketchup, because in
well, they restrict it in Australia. They restrict it a lot. I have heard. I've never been to America. I think I did it when I was younger, but I can't remember. But anyway, whatever. I have heard that pretty much when you get your stuff, you get your certain amount of dipping things, and people sit around and they dip and dip. Like, 3 dips, 4 dips, 5 dips.
Drive the car while doing that.
Well, fucking, they can try and they can crash and die, and then fucking who cares?
It was all about the ketchup.
Like, and then guess what?
People.
There's just one cunt that's not buying any more dips. It's great.
Dude, this whole topic is about dips because I love dips. I'm not going to be driving around and then dipping. All right? I'm not driving and dipping. That's
check your dip privilege, buddy.
You check your dip. All right,
mate, I'm fine without dips. You know what? A bit of gravy, a bit of pepper gravy. I wouldn't mind a bit of pepper gravy, actually.
If you had a meal on your own and nobody was looking,
I do it often.
Sauce,
yeah.
You just choose to have no sauce.
I would not do. You know what? I often have a meal by myself, and you know what I do? I go up the shop. I get myself 800 grams of, because I don't eat much. I don't eat much meat when I'm with the missus. So if I'm by myself, I go up to the shop. I get a 700 or 800 gram rump steak, and I open the Kamado. I cook it up, and I just eat that with hot English mustard. That's it.
I was wondering about where mustard fit in.
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper, of course, on the steak. And I fucking cook the shit out of it, make it beautiful. But then I just eat it with just hot English mustard, man. That's awesome.
And what's this Kamado thing? It's the type of dragon?
Mate, it's the best barbecue in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
And what does that look like?
It's like the brand I've got is Kamado Joe. But it's a Kamado style barbecue. So it's like a Japanese style. So it's like that egg-shaped one. It's like ceramic. And my one's red. There's a few different coloured ones, different brands.
Yeah.
So it's full charcoal barbecue.
Okay.
It's just amazing. It's fully just, the insulation is just out of town. I can smoke in it. I can barbecue in it. I can cook pizzas in it. I can cook my wok in it. There's a wok attachment. I've fucking cooked pad thai in it before, in the fucking barbecue in the backyard. Unbelievable.
Does the bowl touch the coal?
Pretty much. Well, it's up to you. You can set it, but there's like a little rack. It's not much. It's just like this little sort of triangle rack that just sits in there, and it's on the right spots, and it's got a little hole in the middle, and you just whack the wok in, and I can make the barbecue as hot as I want.
What's the deal with lighting coal? How do you just put a match against a lump of coal, or do you have to?
I use I've got a butane, like you know how you make like a brulee, like with like a little gas gun.
I've seen people make the top crunchy a bit somehow.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, so I've got one of those, and I just buy butane, and it takes about 30 seconds. I light that up and I fill it with coal. I put it in the middle. And just light the coal.
Is coal easy to put out? I'm just imagining there would be coal mines or something.
You just got to stop the oxygen.
When did they caught fire? Like there would have been coal fires throughout history, right?
Oh, of course. Well, hey, the greatest one is what's it called? It's in America. It's not Australia. Centralia. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, dude, Google it. So it was and there's a mad story. It's one of those citation needed episodes. Centralia, it's called. Like Australia, but Centralia.
Hmm.
And
Pennsylvania.
So a fire got started in like the 60s or something on like a garbage pile, and it happened to be a coal mining area, and the fucking fire lit the coal, and it's been burning ever since.
Six decades it's been burning.
Yeah, it's been burning
And
for
the
like
state
70
has
years.
given up trying to fight it.
70
Centralia,
years. Yeah,
Pennsylvania once boasted 14 active coal mines and 2,500 residents in the early
yeah,
20th century.
yeah.
Is this a true story?
Absolutely, and that's where it's a video game and a horror movie. I think it's like Silent Hill. Is it Silent Hill? It's
Not heard of
based
them.
around there because it's like you go there, it's smoky everywhere. It's like a fucking ghost
They
town.
must have evacuated that area.
Well, they did, but then people stayed until they died, and they couldn't kick the people who already lived there. They couldn't kick. Most people left, right? Because it's obviously a shit town, and it's fucking. You're gonna just die nastily. But people stayed. Apparently, I'm sure they're all
It
dead
says
now.
here, is Silent Hill still on fire in 2021? It's certain that the fire has been burning at least since May of 1962.
Yeah.
What does that make this year?
Well, that's
70.
70 years. 70 years. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is it 80 years?
It's
Sounds
actually
like
80 years. It's 80. Yeah. It's 80.
No. It's 60. It's
60. It's 40. 60. It's 60. It's 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duh.
It's certain that the fire has been burning at least since May of 1962, but the cause isn't clear. In fact, it was almost the anniversary like a month ago. As for when it will end, at the current rate, the fire underneath Centralia can keep burning for more than 250 years.
Yeah. And probably more. They don't even know. Like, it's like.
So at the end of days, when there's an ice age and everyone's fucking freezing to death, where should we go? There's only one
Centralia.
place. Yeah.
That's it.
No, Silent Hill. The end.
That's it.
The end times are perfect.
But how nuts is that? Like,
how big the barbecue you could have? It's like totally. You wouldn't have to waste.
well, you could go and cook. You can go and cook. You could literally like probably dig a hole and cook.
Can I just ask you about cancer in relation to charcoal?
I love charcoal.
Like, if you burn the edge of your toast, should you chop it off and not eat it because that chunk of black toast will give you cancer?
I think thinking about that will probably give you more cancer than eating it.
So it's like Schrodinger's cat.
Exactly.
You don't have cancer unless you open the box and have
Yeah.
No, don't look.
You can wish it upon yourself. No problems. Yeah.
Okay. So, some more dippy things. I can't go without dippy. All right. Okay. All right. So
I don't know why we're concentrating on dips.
No, because I love it. Okay. What's the best thing?
What's wrong with the dish then? That's the whole thing. I'm a chef, mate. I'm thinking you're one of these dips. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with the dish I just made you?
No. But I'm asking for inventiveness and stuff, right? Because you want to sell satay chicken on skewers, and that's going to have satay sauce.
Yeah, but that's job done. Job's done.
Well,
it's satay.
Sauce,
it's done.
Isn't it? Well, no. Well, you can choose two options, can't you? Satay or something else, right? Okay. Now let me ask you this one: what's the best thing to dip into coffee?
Tim Tams.
But they're not instant, are they? There's a bit of work to do on that. And if you're not quick enough, they'll break off all over the place. And so, should you always have a teaspoon ready?
Mate, if you're not quick enough, you're gonna fucking get run over anyway. Like, who cares?
If you're trying to drive,
if you're not quick enough, mate, like that's just part of the life. That's
gonna splash.
Yeah, you're like
over you.
You know how lions work, you know?
No, because there's the method of biting off each corner, right? You got to do the hard yards and bite off.
I mean, to be honest, mate, I think that's for wusses, mate. I just dip the fucker in and just eat it.
Well, it's not gonna absorb because there's.
Well, I'm gonna sip it through the Tim Tam.
You need some.
I'm gonna sip it. Oh, hey guys, everybody, watch me sip it through the Tim Tam. Fuck off! I just dip it in and eat it.
All right,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, but it's not going to absorb straight away.
Who cares? You want textural balance.
The chocolate's going to melt off the exterior. So if you
it's not because I'm fast enough.
At least
I'm just going to dip it in and eat it. I'm just going to dip it in and eat it.
Sideways.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, you're going to have a wet dry.
What do you do?
crunchy, and
What do you
soft.
get? Like you get like a bowl of pumpkin soup and a bread roll, right? And what are you going to do? Cut off each corner and start sipping it through the fucking bread
Well,
roll?
no. If the bread roll hadn't
That's
hit the
just
cereal
stupid.
crunchy surface, if it was all crust on the
Does of course
outside,
it does? It's a
nah,
sourdough bread
I'll
roll.
break it. I'll
Yeah,
break
you're
it.
going to do it. You're going to cut a little hole on one end and the other end, and just start sucking your soup
I'm
up
not
with
going
the
to suck
bread
it.
roll.
No, but the compromise is I will break the
Why
bread roll
not?
in half.
Don't you want to look like a dickhead?
No, I want it to absorb, and it's not going to absorb into shit if it's just on the outside of an internally fucking pale,
It's ridiculous,
white,
mate.
soft,
Yeah.
dry bread.
Oh, mate. Oh
That
no.
has
Next time
pumpkin penetration.
next time you're nibbling the corners of your Tim Tam, right? Let me know because I'll give a shit about it. All right. Put it on TikTok.
Is there a food straw that would make something better? Now that we're talking about, the chocolatey things and stuff. Or a paddle pop stick or something inventive that we could use both as a utensil and also as food. Like, you can have a basket made out of nachos, right? Or like,
Yeah, I mean,
chips basket.
bamboo's got to be up there.
What is that for? What is that?
It could be a straw. You get the little
can make a bamboo
knobby end bit.
Can you? And you eat the straw?
Well, no, you wouldn't eat it. You'd have to find, because all bamboo's different.
You've seen?
What's the what?
What's the best edible utensil you've ever seen or heard of? Or bowl. It can be anything like that.
I mean, I know what you mean, but it's like, I don't know. That's a tough one, actually.
So we don't have to use utensils. It's just, obviously there's no dishes to be done. Feed it to the dog if you're not hungry.
You got fingers.
I think that's the best utensil. If you can make everything finger friendly, right, and just don't have to worry about knives and forks.
You just got to remember which hand you use to wipe your ass. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you're right.
So I reckon straws should be like made out of some sort of biscuity type thing in a lot of.
No, but then they're going to degrade.
Not
There's nothing good. Like if you have a biscuit, it's just gonna
I'm thinking more like fortune cookie.
I mean, you may as well nibble the edges of your Tim Tam if you're going to do that.
Oh, what are those chocolate straw things they put in chocolate sundaes? And they've got a spiral of chocolate down there.
I think it's like a wafer.
Yeah. Would they last long enough for a milkshake?
Probably not.
No. Okay.
No. Right. I've used some of the good paper straws recently. They're not that good still,
Oh, they're useless. Paper straws are so wrong. They're so wrong.
Probably the best one I've had was from probably Boost Juice, and it's still by the end of it
I had honey. I had honey and something like bits and pieces, and the straw did not go. It did not work at all.
Yeah,
it imploded. It imploded. It just didn't fucking suck in anything. It's useless. But Boost has the right idea in terms of giving me food that I can eat with one hand. Yeah. I don't want to have to pretty much ever have to use two hands. Although in certain situations when I have the dip, I need a table. With nachos, for example. What's the most difficult food to eat? The busiest thing you need to just get involved. It's like, all right, everyone stand back. I'm going to eat this fucking thing now.
Oh, juicy kebab.
Oh, yeah. 1 meter radius. No
a juicy kebab. Like,
that just spills all over the fucking place. Like the exterior is not made to contain the contents.
Everyone's going to stand back. Yeah.
Yeah. And my mum said, don't take a girl on a date and have spaghetti bolognese either. Just even just the sucking of that noodle just swings around in circles. It's like a fucking helicopter of sauce just spitting everywhere all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
What about lobster? I'm not into that sort of stuff, but seafood, isn't it like a mission? You have a dipping bowl with water and all that sort of stuff, and this is for washing your fingers and stuff, and this.
What's this? What are you talking about? What are you talking
about? The most difficult food to eat. Crab.
Crab.
Crab is the biggest. Is it the biggest ordeal?
Yeah. Like a blue swimmer crab.
I just can't. I mean, you've seen it happen, but I just can't imagine they have good deaths. Terrible.
I
We talk
mean,
about live exports and stuff as being cruel. Those two guys are right up to the last second working alive. They keep them alive, not so that they can have happy lives, just so that they remain fresh.
I think you're completely right. Yeah, because
one day that will be illegal, and probably already is illegal in some countries.
well, I mean, to be honest, the crabs will probably run out. Like they'll probably be gone before it's illegal.
Crabs running out.
Oh, everything's running out. Everything. Like people, like there's farming operations and stuff going on, but then that's even leaching what's going on. I mean, in Thailand, it's a bit. I mean, and I'm sure I only know a little bit about Thailand, and then I'm sure most of those Southeast Asian countries are similar. But just to feed, like, because most of the prawns in the whole world come from Southeast Asia, right? Like Vietnam, Thailand, pretty much. I think Burma do it as well, and Malaysia a little bit. But it's all inland farms. And there's these big ponds that are just inland, and they oxygenate them and stuff. But what they use for feed is they go and dredge all the oceans, so they get all the crustaceans and just all the shit off everything. They just dredge the whole bottom of the floor and like sift it out and grind it up, and then they mix it with like beef offcuts and whatever protein they can get from the chicken farm or the beef farm, whatever. It all just gets mixed up, made into seafood pellets, fed to the prawns, and then
Crazy. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Like we don't even get to see the damage that those the scrapers they have.
Yeah, it's literally scrapers, man. It's like literally scrapers.
Coral reefs and stuff just destroyed.
Oh, they're not coral reefs anymore, man. It looks disgusting. And even the now when they scrape over it, it's fucked. It looks shit already. It should have been good, but it looks shit already because it's already been done 1,000 times.
What was the talk about, the 2 years of COVID abandonment of people going outside? Didn't that sort of restore a lot of things to some amazing level of pristineness or pristinity or whatever the word is?
Where are you talking? Like, well, I'm sure around the world, I'm sure
parts,
it did. Yeah.
Like
hey, you know what? I reckon the
experiment.
biggest. Hey, I haven't even heard about this one. But what do you reckon about? Imagine how many less aeroplane flights there were for a couple of years.
Yeah, and airplanes are very big polluters, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I wonder how clean the sky became.
Well, no, but it's all it's all connected anyway. Like it's not like if you just clean one bit, it stays clean. It's all connected. But like apparently, concrete production of concrete is one of the biggest motherfuckers for that. Yeah, which is obviously happening everywhere all the time.
Wait, what is concrete? Isn't that just crushed up rock? What is concrete?
Oh, I think it's more like the recipe of it's a bit more complicated than that. I think like there's cement and then there's concretes. So there's different. Basically, it's all just different sizes of stuff. So you need to have something that's going to stick. So it's going to have to be like sticky, like corn flour. Like limestone or I don't even know where they get it from. But cement is, it's like powder. But then in that you got to have little bits of rock and bigger bits and stuff like that.
This brings me up to another question. Something that I researched the other day. Not researched. I was just curious. It's something I never knew the answer to. How far? Okay, what's in terms of sand depth? Where do you?
In terms of what?
Sand depth, grains of sand.
Okay.
On land, which do you think is the deepest desert of sand? Before you dig, and there are no more grains of sand.
Oh, in the world?
Yeah, the deepest sand.
Oh, that's a good question. I've never thought about it like that. Okay, if I was to hazard a guess, I'd guess Australia. Because it's like so continent.
Okay. What? Okay, you think? Okay, let's look at the Simpson Desert, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the sort of average depth of the sand is before you hit bedrock?
Like what, within the whole desert?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man! I mean, I completely guessing. I got no idea, but let's say 30 meters.
Lower.
Like less than that.
Yeah.
Okay, what? 15?
Less.
Oh, okay. 8.
Less.
3.
Less.
Bullshit. What about the sand dunes?
We're averaging it out a bit.
Okay. I don't know. There's a whole lot of fucking dunes there. Okay.
Well,
I don't know.
guess you don't start at the top of a dune, but
Well, okay. The Simpson Desert's, I reckon, a bit different because I mean I've driven through the desert from South Australia, and there's not sand dunes and shit. But when you said that question talking about sands, I was picturing like Egyptian fucking sand swept deserts.
What I am talking about sand sweeping because they're called ergs, ERGS, right? Sand swept deserts that move dunes around and stuff.
Yeah.
That amount of sand they're called ergs if they are over a certain area. I can't remember what that definition is, but Simpson Desert is one. The Sahara Desert is one.
Sahara. Yeah.
They're ergs, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So in Simpson, they're saying it's 1 meter, 3.3 feet. So you can dig for a meter, and you'll hit a ground point where there's no more grains of sand beneath that.
On average.
Well, I guess, but
there still won't be water there. It'll just be dirt.
Might be water down there. Because I mean, the water is not absorbing hard into something like as thin as sand anymore. It could just sit there and puddle. So you might find water.
Oh no, I've heard like crazy stories that in the deserts, like if you go like 100 feet down, there's like whole lakes.
It'd be interesting because maybe they would drip out in a road away.
No, I'm talking like full on underground lakes, like that are like just as big as an above ground lake, but under the ground in the desert.
Yeah, so it'd be caves and stuff. There'd be a crack in the rock, and it would just expand over thousands of years, I suppose.
Yeah, well, bigger than just a crack in the rock, like a full on underground lake. That's just like
and I'm just saying
completely like the size of half the size of Sydney Harbour under the desert.
Well, that must be pretty strong roof to hold that up.
Well, it's all built by cave systems.
Yeah, very good.
That was the one crazy. I was listening to an SGU the other day, and they were talking about ants and some new research.
What's SGU stand for?
Skeptics Guide to the Universe. They're my go-to for facts.
Okay.
But they were talking about some new study with ants, right? Some certain kind of ant. I can't remember the type, but it was a certain type. And how they go down and build, and like in terms of the engineering of the ants. And it was like, obviously, when you start digging underground, as an engineer or an ant, you have to configure like the weight of everything above you and what direction you're going and everything. And they've just got like some kind of sixth sense that they stop digging at certain points and turn in different directions. So they have
they know they're about to hit a wall or something.
Well, just like some kind of load bearing, because they don't want to fuck up the load bearing of the nest.
It is insane.
Yeah, and how can they have that?
Hive mind.
That's right. That's right. And these guys, they couldn't explain how they were doing it. They just were saying they were doing it. It was just
insects blow me away. The hexagonal shapes the bees make to create their honeycomb structures. Yeah. It's just, but that's the ant structure as well.
Have you seen the balloon? Have you seen that hexagon thing? Have you seen the balloon? Sorry, this guy makes all these bubbles. Like the bubble. There's some scientist. He does these bubbles and he pushes them into a certain area. And the more he compresses them and they don't pop, they all turn into those same hexagonal shapes.
Wow!
Because it's like the least resistant path or whatever, and everything just congratulates into that shape. And so it's across everything, and not just bees. And they've just mastered it for their hives. But it's a shape.
See, the thing is, they haven't
that exists.
Really mastered it. It's inherent in their DNA to know how to do it. Like
no, it's inherent. It's inherent in physics.
No, but what I'm saying is, a human baby is pretty useless. All we know how to do is grab hold of a thumb and suck a nipple. That's it.
It'd be crap. If that, no, you got to push their head on the nipple. Yeah, they're not going to get themselves up there.
Yeah, so they're very helpless.
You got to push it. You got to push it on there. Yeah.
Whereas a bee, 6 weeks old, it's already a grandparent and it's ready to die.
Yeah, that's right.
6 weeks old. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just so much information is stored. And I was watching something called Brain Man. You know, it's about a savant. Because Rain Man was a savant, and they've just called this Brain Man. But this guy is actually sitting there, and with a bunch of a panel of witnesses who are taking notes that he's getting it correct. He sit there. He memorized it within, I think, a week or something. You know, pi, which is the circumference of a circle divided by the diameter of the circle. 3.14 something, right? Now that's something I just mentioned. He said the something digits in order accurately to 22,500 digits. It took him 5 hours. Who can do that?
The same kind of guy that can like punish a Rubik's cube with his feet.
No, I know that would be nothing compared to remembering 22,500 digits, right?
Is it remembering or is it a factor?
Yeah,
like,
he learned Icelandic language and was interviewed on Icelandic television within a week of starting to learn the language.
Yeah, right.
And he was able to hold up a full conversation.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I bet he doesn't have a girlfriend.
No, he's got Asperger's. He's fucked.
Yeah.
But got burgers in his ass. So what I'm saying is, like, and the interesting thing about him and some of the other savants that were, you know, interviewed in this program, they are able to do math. He sees numbers as images, right? These experimenters, they gave him like 7 different colors of Play-Doh and say, all right, make the shape of 81. And it was like a yellow banana, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then so they'll on day one they'll ask him to make maybe Play-Doh for like 60 different numbers. They don't tell him he's going to have to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they're all accurate the same the next day when they
I bet. Say, no, I get that.
Like one's a yellow banana, another one's like a pink star, another one's like fucking like a lump of jelly with a hook. It's like it doesn't make any sense, but in his mind, it's going, okay, 875,231 looks like this.
Yeah.
Right? And he does it again the next day. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand the human brain. It's like when you take acid or something, like there's some sort of...
no, not acid, it's DMT, bro.
Oh, yeah. I remember your story. That's amazing.
Oh, my God.
And you were dead. You will yourself.
I've actually, you know what? I've actually heard a few stories of people fairly recently talking about their experiences. Joe Rogan was one of them. And he said that he thought he died in his experience as well.
But the point I was making with hallucinogens is that it allows you to see the mathematical nature of the brain in vivid complexity. Right,
yeah.
with the geometric shapes and stuff that you can see in the sky all around you. It's like something that you could not have devised easily. And also people's voices and, you know, the ability to look at somebody's face that you haven't seen in a while with much better clarity than normal blurry memory.
Yeah.
There are parts of your brain that can be fully clarified if there was nothing in the way, no fog in the way.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I don't know.
Because if you have perfect recall, you can get stuff back up, nice and shiny, as if you're looking at it in real life.
But I mean, the human brain doesn't work like a computer. Like when you recall information, it can be tarnished. Like it can be.
Think of your dreams. You're having perfect conversations, right?
Yeah.
In your dreams, and it's not just you having conversations. They're people you've met and seen, and they're talking. You're having a full conversation. There's no one else there except for you and your brain, right?
Yeah.
And yet, this conversation is something that you have written and directed on the spot. You're improvising this fucking thing. If we're to believe what we think is just if time is linear like that.
Holy shit, man! I just had a fucking thought. Do you reckon some people are better at dreaming than others? Like, do you reckon?
Like if you fucking take acid and then you have to go and have a dream, or there are certain things that help you dream better. Like I think there are drugs that are better for it,
No.
and there are people obviously who have
What you
brains
want
that
to
are better at dreaming.
do? All right. Sorry, boy. Yeah. Yeah. I reckon I like that way you said it. Like you're directing the dream, so that obviously it's like.
But you're the only
There's
actor.
nothing obvious about
You're
it.
the only actor. You're playing the role of your mum, your wife, your dog,
Yeah.
the tree over there. You're every single character.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it on the fly. And the internal thoughts of all of those characters would be pretty deep as well. Because if you stopped and asked them a question, they'd have the fucking answer ready to go in their own voice, with their own attitude. And they're not going to just fucking go, oh, I haven't written, that part hasn't been written for me yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing you can't seem to do in a dream is turn on a light switch.
Or run really fast.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in quicksand a lot of the time when I'm trying to do stuff.
Yeah. Like
And if I try to punch somebody, I'm like, oh, that's so weak. Like, what the fuck's going on with that?
for some
I used
reason,
to be able to
if I
fly.
want to run, I can fly in my dreams.
I can fly gently. I can just go a meter
Yeah,
off the
mine's
ground.
but my
bit
flying's
worried when it's high
balanced.
above.
Like it, I need to
A bit wobbly.
actually put my arms out. Like I can't just like Superman
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I need to put my arms
No.
out so that
Yeah, I'm unsteady. That's for
it's
sure.
almost like a bubble effect. So I need to like jump into the flying, and then like my body's
I get
like,
a couple of steps, like greatest
and then
American hero.
I can move. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'm an unsteady
the
flyer.
running I can never run.
I'm always a bit worried. I get about as far as above the rooftops. Like I'd fly into a tall gum tree because I'm not tall enough to fly over it. I would be able to push myself a little bit, and then I'd start getting shaky and wobbly. And if I lose my flight ability or forget to concentrate in the right way, or if I don't have enough confidence, then I'm going to fall splat and get really hurt.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a bit, worried. I'm a bit of a girly man when it comes to flying.
Yeah. No, I've been up there, but I get scared when I get scared when I get really up there. I get scared
How
of the
high
heights,
have you flown? How high?
like into the clouds. But
Yeah.
but when I get scared, that's not when I get scared. When I get scared is when I come down to land, and I always seem to land on an edge that's really, really, really high, like the top of like the Burj Khalifa or something. Yeah. Like that's always the dream. So I can fly into the clouds and shit, but then when I come down to land, I don't land on the floor. I land on like right on the edge of something that's really like, and I can land there and I can stand there, but then I'm just looking over the edge, and that gives my whole body like I often wake up. Then I'll be like.
Like you fall out of the bed almost if there was.
Like it gives me like the height thing, even though I've been flying through the skies in the dream, and then I land on that spot, and that's what makes me wake up. Yeah.
All right. So 2 questions. Obviously, were you cold in the clouds? And secondly,
no,
you didn't feel the heat or cold or anything.
No,
The wind.
No.
And were you just wearing regular clothes like jeans and normal?
Can't remember.
You're not putting on a flight suit, are you? Like with a cape and.
No, I wasn't in a cape. No, I think I was in regular. I think I was. No, I was regular because I always started the flight like in a weird way. It's almost like I needed to like warm up to start flying. So I'd always.
Well, how do you warm up?
Well, so I would like be just walking down the street, and then I would like fully commit myself and just jump ahead of myself, but like with my hands as if I'm going to hit the ground, but I don't hit the ground.
But do you do it over a nature strip though, so you don't fall on the concrete in case you fail?
No.
You just go straight over the footpath or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes I do it off an edge.
Whoa, shit! You're confident.
So I'm like
I'm not
fully committing. No, I'm fully committing. No, I know I'm gonna be able to do it.
That's good.
So it doesn't matter where I do it, but I know it's gonna be hard to do it. So when I do it, I jump and I always land. Like Mission Impossible, where he had to like go down and he almost hit the bottom, but he didn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that every time at the beginning. Like I need to do that first.
Definitely do that over nature strips.
Yeah. Well, no. I just do it. Sometimes I do it over. Like whatever, I could do it over spikes, but I know I'm going to do it.
Fuck,
it's just like, yeah,
that's scary, man.
Yeah,
You've
but
got to land an
that's
inch from
part
the
of
ground every
that's
time.
part of the mission, you know. Like,
Surprised you
that's
haven't
the
knocked your
mission.
teeth out.
Well, I
Right?
never have. I haven't since.
That's good. Okay, and so you're not getting cold or anything when you fly. You land
Nah.
on a building. Okay, but there must have
You
been
know
a
what I
time
do
when
though?
you
I
land on
wake
the
up
edge
in
of
a
a
sweat.
building.
I wake up in a sweat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it exertion to stay in the air? Is it
I
like
don't think so
clenching your
because
muscles or anything?
I don't wake the missus up, so I don't think so.
No, but is
I
it
think it's all in the
exhausting?
mind.
Is it exhausting to
Ah.
fly, or is it just like relaxing? Could you just sunbake up in the sky
Oh
for like
no,
3 hours?
it's only hard at the beginning just to get myself accustomed to it, and then
Yeah.
I can carry on.
Can you just
And
like
it's never easy. It's never easy, but
okay,
it gets easier. Yeah, yeah.
all right, and so
Like there's
you're quite
always
confident,
I'm always having to put in effort to stay up.
right?
Yeah.
It's like a bicycle. You can never stop pedaling, otherwise you'll fall.
No, I can't stop it. But there's different. Yeah, sometimes I can float if I'm in the jet stream. You know, I could hit
Right?
the
Yeah,
jet
yeah, yeah.
stream and just have a little break. But then I'm always, yeah, no, I'm always pushing it. Like it's always a pressure to stay up.
Is there like after you land on an edge, like on a trip
I
versus
always
or
land on an edge. I always land on a really high edge, like a ridiculously high edge. Like not
okay,
even just.
imagine if that didn't wake you up. Imagine if you stayed. There must have been times where you didn't wake up.
I'm not sure.
Do you
Yeah,
have to climb back down the building, or can you just fly to the ground?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever gone past that, or haven't remembered
I
it.
can imagine maybe you tried to slide down the building like it was some gigantic pole or
I don't
something.
think I
And
would
just
have. I think I would have tried to jump off it again, like to get my flying pose back,
yeah,
like
and
the
try to
same way.
land lower.
Yeah. I think, but I can't. You know what? To be honest, I can't remember going past that point. So, but I would assume that, considering my dreams, that's what I would try to do.
This line of questioning about being able to see geometric shapes and amazing things in your mind is something that really struck with me with Brain Man, that documentary.
Yeah.
This guy, he said he was not having to do any arithmetic when he was asked questions. Like they would ask him, "What's 37 to the power of 4?"
I
Right?
he'd just say it.
And you go 37 times 37 is this, 37 times, or whatever that result is, times
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
37 is
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he wouldn't have to do that, apparently. He would start saying numbers. And then they would say, okay, what's 13 divided by 87?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And then he'd say it out with the decimal places, and he
Yeah,
would exceed what they had on the calculator. Then they
yeah,
moved to a computer, right, which had like, instead of 12 decimal places or whatever, it had like 35 decimal places. And he went past 35 and kept going, and his numbers were all accurate. But
yeah. Wow.
it's like he was reading something off the internal part of his skull. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going on with that?
Well, I mean, yeah, man. I think the brain, like, because you can't even call it the human brain, really, because everyone's got a different one.
It's a fucking
But
antenna. That's what it is. We're being fed information from the soul field.
yeah, absolutely, man.
The
I
tree
agree.
is the center of the universe, and we're just the leaves on branches.
Well,
This guy's
possibly
got some
far out.
access to read back in the wrong direction because it's usually just an outflowing of chlorophyll or whatever the fuck leaves are fed from the tree. But this guy's
Sure.
going, no, 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 no. I'm going to send my brain tendrils up through the branches and explore to see what is at the heart of it all. Right?
Sure.
Who am I really? I'm surely not just a leaf in this existence. I mean, universe didn't just, or existence didn't just pop into existence, right? I mean, I am clearly something that is a mind, a witness to the eternity of
I'm not sure whether it's
whatever it
clearly,
is.
but yes.
No, it's not clearly at all. It's a
Yeah.
fucking guess. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, if there is any universe that has no observers at all, they might as well really never have existed. This
Well, but
universe,
that's the whole thing about the Schrodinger. Like, it's like, okay, we can discuss that 1,000 times. So basically, does the universe change when our telescopes get better?
Well, I don't know how much quantum physics is affecting the larger scale. Like, you know,
We're
when
in
you
the
talk
we're in
about
the Matrix, aren't
wave
we?
particle
In all
duality, and by
seriousness, we're in the
observing it switches
yeah.
the matrix is batteries. I'd say we're in some kind of program because
Yeah.
there are certain things that are
Glitch.
clearly fate. Like
Yeah.
they're clearly like the whole phenomenon of being able to write scripts in your brain when your dreams, and it's not like you have no memory of your dreams at all. Sometimes you remain
When you wake up.
asleep, and then
wake up.
you're staying in that world, and you can sort of the alarm's about to go off because you open one eye, but you stay in that dream because you want to finish the story, right?
Yeah.
You've still got the capability to fucking write this most amazing scene where everybody's speaking in their own voices. You can't do your voices with your own. If you tried to do somebody intimately, like your mum, you couldn't do her voice if you tried, right?
Yeah.
But in your brain, she looks exactly the same. She sounds exactly the same. You've done it. You've nailed it. You've totally achieved it. And you know everything about her inside the story, and they're just having conversations, and it's much faster the way they speak to you, and you're not even paying attention. And yet she's yelling something out at you that exactly what she would say. And she's never said it to you ever. And yet, while you're thinking of something else, like you're wondering if you can fly over that building over there, she's calling out something about what has to happen Wednesday or next week or something, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. How are you doing that? How are you writing that script? My brain can't do that when I'm awake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's just so much complication, and it's almost rigged.
It's completely rigged.
This is just the tip of the ice. This example that we can all relate to, the writing and directing of dreams, that alone is an example of how we are not in control of our own minds.
Yeah, well,
and so in a lot of situations, we are fed information, whether they are acting as antenna for matter or communications that are happening in this realm or in layers beneath, in terms of other dimensions that are invisible to the human eye. Because
I mean, I wonder, would this line of thought been apparent in the Middle Ages, in like the Dark Ages and shit? Like, is it only?
Still
Are we
haven't
only?
answered the most
Can we
basic
only?
questions yet?
No, we still haven't. But we're talking about it like we sort of know the answers.
Well, I don't. I mean, everything I say is a guess, and people
because we know about computers and stuff like that. Like, because like computers have only existed for like pretty much since 2000. Like before then, computers were crap.
Yeah.
Fucking LimeWire and shit. Fucking crap.
Yeah.
But
there are other examples that predate. Like people talk about. I can't remember what the best example was from history where, we talk about computers equaling a human brain. There was something else that equaled a human brain before that I can't remember what it was. Anyway, people knew about insects. So watching how ants built a nest or go and collect food, or some ants go and explore this way, and then they come back and no other ant goes that way because there wasn't food in that direction.
Yeah.
In my ignorance, in the early days, I thought they were using their antenna to like send radio transmission. There is no food in this direction, and then they all just updated their fucking GPS and heads-up displays.
No. Heaps of ants die in this quest.
They do because they're like they're not neurons. But I didn't realize it was more straightforward than what I was thinking. Because what they do is they release a little droplet of pheromone out of their butthole or something as they walk along, back from the food source back to the nest. Right. I don't know where all this,
it makes sense. It makes sense. Buttholes and
So that's a lot easier to understand. It's not magic anymore once you know that they're releasing a little pheromone trail. A lot of reality that we see around us is fully explicable when you see what's happening on the small scale, because everything's made up.
Sure.
Including a lot of our illness, which is basically explained that we have about a brain worth of weight of creatures living in our bodies trying to eat us right now.
Mm-hmm.
So worms don't have to dig their way through a coffin to get to the skeleton and fucking eat that delicious human meat after you die.
Pretty much.
You don't become worm food. You become microbe food.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They're already trying to eat you. They're already trying to eat you right now. All you have to do is
they're
die.
Just waiting.
And
they're just waiting. Yeah,
that's right.
They're just hanging out. Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah, and they got heaps of time.
Yeah. Well, it could be generations.
Well, many generations, but they got heaps of time. because they can just survive right in your body as you live.
I know, but isn't it weird that the generations are almost as if the one, like, imagine there are, in an 80-year-old human who dies maybe of old age, imagine there are 7 million generations of microbe who've survived all that way through your life. They never got killed by your stomach acid or your T cells or whatever the fuck, or API,
your friends.
ATP. I don't know what it is. But they are as if this generation, the last one, who's going, delicious. They weren't only just born, right? And yet they inherit this gold mine of delicious food, which is your corpse.
That's right.
And they'll probably die after they've had a mouthful and then give birth or divide into some other creature, and that generation will eat the rest of you.
Sure, or something else will eat them, and then that's fine too.
But the weird thing is, when you talk about bees and ants and stuff, these creatures who can build hives that look the same in Australia as they do in Indonesia or some other major place away from here, they know, without being told or shown, how to build these structures. Birds know how to build nests.
Mate, the crazy ones are how whales can migrate through from the top of the world to the bottom of the world through whatever oceans they have to go through, just through some kind of, when you're underwater, you can't see shit.
How long does it take for a whale to swim from the north to the south pole, you reckon?
Don't know, but they're pretty efficient at it, I think.
Well, it's not that big. It's about 13,000 k across. Yeah,
but when you're swimming like a big fat numpty, you got to be pretty efficient. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want to make a wrong turn.
Dilly daddle.
We wouldn't want to make a wrong turn and end up in, I don't know.
Yeah, Tasmania.
Yeah. No, that'd probably be a decent place.
I'm in Antarctica. It's much warmer than I remember.
Whoa.
And don't turtles return to their birthplace and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And they do it in the ocean. And salmons, and they fucking swim up waterfalls, dude.
How do they know?
Don't know.
That's it. Is this like, pigeons have a magnet in their skull that gives them a sixth sense.
Yeah.
About they follow the lines of longitude or whatever it is, the magnetosphere lines of the Earth.
Yeah.
That is caused by the rotating of the metal ball in the center with the friction of the mantle, and it's causing some kind of, I don't know,
some kind of fuzzy feeling.
The friction of iron against mantle lava somehow creates a magnetosphere that deflects the harmful radiation of the sun and some other things. And Mars, I think, has a frozen core, so it has no magnetosphere. So
that's right.
Ozone layer can't exist there or something. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have any atmosphere. It's got a tiny bit.
But I don't know. Yeah, I think the atmosphere would get blown off if you didn't have a magnetosphere.
Well, that's what happened to Mars, yeah.
Yeah, potentially, because if your core goes cold, you don't have that friction creating a magnetosphere, and then
and it's heat as well. And we know that because Mars hasn't had earthquakes for billions of years.
Hasn't it? Oh, I guess it wouldn't. It would be all all the lava and everything would be.
But it's had them in the past. It's had them in the past, but just not now.
Marsquake. I'm sure there would have been.
Yeah, there would have been. No, because there's evidence of it, but there's evidence that it hasn't happened recently.
But isn't it strange that there are river formations that are visible on the surface?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that have? Why wouldn't that have been totally wind swept over with erosion from the wind?
Well, I think it has been, and that's just what we can see now.
We shouldn't be able to see any structure of water at this point.
Well, because the wind's not, because the atmosphere there is only 1% of the Earth, so the wind there is actually when you watch a movie like Martian, that windstorm would never exist.
Well, I thought it was all dust storms and stuff.
Yeah, it is, but it's 1% of what Earth does.
Right, so a dust storm is nothing to worry about.
No, you wouldn't even notice it.
Are you sure?
Well, you'd notice the lack of oxygen. Yeah, because the atmosphere is wind is created in atmosphere. Like if there's 1% of Earth's atmosphere, there's 1% of the potent wind, like the wind available.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, like a dust storm there would be like you'd be struggling. You'd be struggling to get any dust.
Like if that dust storm was a 3-year-old trying to blow out the 3 candles for his birthday cake,
It'd be like that. It'd be It'd be three-year-old with a lisp, like trying to blow out the cake.
Do you reckon
They're not even blowing straight? Like it's just.
Okay. Let's talk about odds and let's not be imaginative here. Let's try to be logical.
Okay.
When you talk about what the odds are that there were life creatures on Mars in this. So this is how,
like a billion years ago, maybe. Like a billion years ago, maybe. Is that what you're saying?
We have to
So
recognize that the sun and the Earth and the Mars we're all about 4.5 million years old, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Planet system all smashing together for the first billion.
But at the same time, the structure of life could have been completely different on Mars to Earth. So if 4.5 billion years, what we know of life on Earth here is what it's just it's about 1 billion years, isn't it?
I don't know. I think it's 3.5
just under 800
years ago when we potentially.
No, I'm talking about like bacteria. I'm talking about like the single cell. Yeah. Blue green algae.
Google. I wrote Google.
800,000 years ago.
How old is life?
1 million. It's got to be 1 million.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh no, not 1 million. Fuck, 65 million is fucking.
I'm thinking
1 billion.
My guess is 3.5 or 3. How old is life?
I'm thinking
3.5 billion.
I'm going to go straight.
We know that life began at least 3.5 billion years ago because that is the age of the oldest rocks with fossil evidence of life on Earth.
Is that what it says?
Got fossils of life that are 3.5 billion years old. That's Google's answer.
Is that what it says? Yeah, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
That is from lpi.usra.edu.
Yeah.
Second result is 3.77 billion years ago, possibly as early as 4.28 billion years ago, or even 4.41 billion.
Yeah, right.
That's almost as soon as life could exist, it did.
Yeah. So as soon as it could.
Okay. Given that that's the information you've been given, right?
Yeah.
We've got a molten rock, right? A chunk has just blown out and started orbiting. That's going to be called the moon from now on, right?
Yeah.
You've now got a molten ball, and as soon as it cools down to the right level, life starts growing.
Yeah, so what the
fuck's going on? So what's going on with that? Do you think that a lot of the rocks and stuff because what we understand of the creation of a solar system is that there's a swirl of gas, right? And it's just like all like becoming gravitational because it's so that the gas is heavy and it all just bends down like a bowling ball on a trampoline, becomes the sun. And because there's so much spinning, things stay at the speed. Most things get annihilated and become either like floating asteroids or turn into some more sun meat.
Well, apparently Jupiter. Apparently Jupiter, you can just drop down into Jupiter and not touch anything. Because there's gas.
I don't know. Can't be. There's got to be a core, surely.
Got to be.
No. Think. Okay, let me ask you this: if an asteroid passed close to Jupiter, you reckon it's not going to get sucked in, and now there's a little rock in the middle of Jupiter?
No, it does. I think it just gets annihilated. I think it just beats the shit out of it.
And what? It just becomes more gas. It must be pretty.
It's just like a gas gangster. It's a gangster. It's a gas gangster.
Maybe, but it's like billions of fucking dissolved asteroids in there.
Sure.
That's pretty heavy duty fucking gas, man.
Man, it's got like 60 moons. The fuck has got like 60 moons. It's just like fuck you moons. You know?
But those moons are not gas, right? So it's
he's daring, and Jupiter's just daring those moons to come a little bit closer. Yeah, and every year they're a little bit closer.
Ate all his brothers. Already ate all their brothers, right? Like fucking, don't give a fuck.
He loves it.
Like Jupiter is about, I think, 1/10 the size of the minimum size you need to be in terms of mass to become
for a
reactive.
For a start.
fusion.
Yeah.
To kick off fusion. And I think a brown dwarf is like a try-hard red dwarf that can't quite ignite.
Fuck,
And
I did a brown dwarf. I did a brown dwarf last night.
Yeah, how big was it?
It was runny.
System?
It was runny.
Well, that's not good for any kind of system. I don't know who's going to live on that. I guess potentially that's how life began. Somebody in the ancient past, maybe 4.41 billion years ago, went, you know what, darling, I'll step out of the spaceship for one moment. Oh, still just roll down my pants for a moment. It's
runny. It's runny.
Darling, you're going to hold us up. We've got to get to the party. Oh, sorry. Light speed times a million.
Let's go to light speed. Yeah.
No, let's go to 10 times light speed. But that doesn't exist. Can't exist possibly. Yes, but that's what the primitives of this future planet might think once they emerge from my feces. I'm going to drink through a straw.
A paper straw.
Yeah. Peter has an arrogance about the way people eat Tim Tams with coffee, and others such eating.
I don't think it's an arrogance at all. I think it's an anti-arrogance. I think nibbling the corners of your Tim Tam and then sipping it into fucking milk or coffee, I think that's arrogance.
Well, no, because that's hardcore. Because you've only got like 0.5 seconds to grab that entire dripping to pieces motherfucker and shove it down your throat before it falls and splashes all over your clothes.
Mate. It's fine.
All right.
I'm willing to take the risk.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if that coffee isn't above 70 degrees Celsius, you're just going to have a fucking dry biscuit you're crunching on after you dipped it. So there's no point. You just melted the
exterior. Fine, mate. It's fine. It's a Tim Tam. It's got plenty of backup. It's got cream in the middle. It's got fats. It's got heaps of backup. Why did you even dip it? No point. No.
That's break it in half.
Hey, you pay me, mate. Dipping it is like half the effort of nibbling the corners. Like, I've got my coffee, I've got my Tim Tam, little quick dip in there. Or I can go, oh, hang on, I saw this on YouTube once. I'm going to nibble this corner and nibble this corner.
No, you know what? I didn't hear it on YouTube, which is why I want to keep the tradition alive. It's one of the things from my life that I did hear from human beings. So I'm going to, that one is a treasured memory. I don't even know what kids can treasure anymore.
You're actually right. I do remember that one.
But I would not choose a Tim Tam because of the reasons I say. It's got an exterior shell that's hard to penetrate with coffee unless you have it broken in half or have some.
A donut then, a donut or croissant. It's got to be croissant.
No, croissant. Kingston biscuit.
Croissant.
Kingston.
Croissant.
What the fuck is a croissant? It's like pastry.
Yeah.
Like I lived in Belgium.
It's half butter, half flour.
Everything was patisserie. Like, what the fuck is going on with it? It's like what they do in Italy with all the pastas. Everything's the same except different shapes.
Yeah, except in Italy they're liars because every single one of their 1,000 different types of pastas is just a fucking noodle from China.
What is a noodle?
Oh, here, everybody.
Is it the same? What? Is it the same thing?
Oh, well, it's essentially the same thing. It's essentially the same thing.
How do you make spaghetti?
Flour, egg, and water.
How important is the egg?
You can make it with flour and water.
Isn't it like damper?
No, we're talking about noodles.
No, but damper is a type of bread, and then you got
pretty much everything with flour and water you can make like noodles and dampers and pancakes and whatever. Yeah.
But how do they have different flavors? Because some have more sugar than others. Is that what's going on?
Sure.
How does damper become a spaghetti? What do you call one strand of spaghetti?
Dude, that'd be difficult to explain. You got to come in the kitchen. I'll show you.
Is it the way you extrude it through a machine or something?
Well, I mean, bread's a bread, so dampers are bread. So
this leads me to the questions about bread, because bread is a very interesting subject in terms of finding food in nature that you just shove in your mouth or cook, whereas bread is not obvious at all.
Well, I mean, the traditional breads were not with yeast. So flat, if you believe in the Bible, all the original breads were flatbreads.
How would you?
Just flour and water.
Your name is Kazan, right? And you're living in 4000 BC.
Ahmed Kazan, yeah.
Yeah, you Ahmed Kazan, and you've been eating fucking apples from the tree, and
And probably more like
you
dates.
probably
I've
pick
been
up
I've been just smashing dates.
what is that, a plum?
Sorry?
Is a date a plum?
No. Dates it's its own thing. A date's a date. A
Ah,
prune is a plum.
yeah. Okay.
Prunes, like dried prunes, and they're similar to dates, I guess. But dates kick
A,
kick prunes'
a,
ass, really.
are dates already dried out?
Prunes will make you shit your pants.
And what do dates do?
Make you shit your pants.
So is a date like a fresh fruit you could eat what's fresh?
It is.
Or not?
Yeah. You get fresh. They're called medjool dates. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, they're lovely. They're kind of like they are dried though, and I'm not sure actually. I've never picked one off a tree, so I'm not sure how they come off a tree. But when you get them in the supermarket, they kind of look like a prune, but they're a bit drier and a bit bigger and a bit different color.
And they're ready to eat in the fruit section.
Yeah, you can eat them straight up. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Now imagine you're Ahmed, whatever your fucking name is, right? And you're walking around, and you decide, I've had enough dates. I want to eat bread. That's a good word. Bread. I want to eat bread now. How do you go from going date, sheep, frog, date, sheep, to going, boom, I'm going to eat some fucking bread now? How do you do that?
It would have been some mum. One of the mums would have made it up.
Yeah, but how did she? Okay, imagine you're Ahmed's mum who invents bread. How did you invent it?
Don't know. She probably got raped one early afternoon, which is a normal thing back in those times. And then she thought, "Oh shit, I need some energy. Better go make some bread."
Well, first of all, she's got to stumble upon some. She's got to stumble upon some grass. Maybe they were using it for roof thatching, and some of the seeds fell off, and they went, I don't know where to put this. Maybe I'll just chew on it while I'm thinking about what to do with the rest of this mess that's fallen out of the ceiling.
I think these things happened well before then. I think the whole grain gathering thing was like Neanderthalic, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay. So eating grains was just a way to survive.
Maybe not, they might not have made it. They might not have grinded it then and made it into breads.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure that kind of foods was available.
But there'd be other things they would have smunched as well. Like what? I mean, apart from grains, like from grasses. Grain is all from grass, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So they're generally types of grasses. Yeah.
All right. So what else did people grind to eat?
Chicks.
Was there anything else?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Slugs.
No, but I mean, it's not. That's why I'm saying bread is not an obvious food to eat. It's like you have to grind.
No, but it would have started. It might have been like a porridge to start with.
Oh, because
you just mix it, or you just cook it out with a bit of water, or
putting things with water and then putting things with heat are the two obvious things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it might have taken 10,000 years to get the connection between that and bread. I'm not sure.
No, but what you're saying is not 10,000 years. It's just a matter of a couple of days when you leave a pile of grains, which you
could be depending on the brain capacity of the person. But
water.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you know to put things in water to make food, you're experimenting, right? What can I eat?
Sure.
We've got some fencing.
To be honest, it's not experimenting. To be honest, I reckon most of it would have happened by accident.
But
if you left some flour and water,
rub things on their lips. If it's poisonous.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they did that. But I mean, I reckon the whole bread making, cheese making, over the thousands of years happened by accident, and then it just got refined.
Sounds like deliberate experimentation to me.
Nah, who knows? Who knows?
I do. It's deliberate experimentation.
I don't think so.
You accidentally tripped over something and went, oh, there's some bread.
Yeah.
Accident.
Well, no. It would have been a series of accidents. It's like, oh, They had some flour and some bread that was like quite thick, and they just left it on the bench, and it like it rose for some reason, and it got a bit fluffier and softer. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck is that? I might just bash it out and knead it a bit more, and then make some little dinner rolls." You know, like they could have happened like that easy.
So from those days where we had agriculture, we started knowing how to do stuff, and we knew that we didn't have to keep wandering around looking for food if we just planted it. So, and we managed it nicely. It takes some organization. So we had to have a few thousand years of just running away from bears or whatever, and then we built fences and some sort of shelter.
Heaps of wolves.
Heaps of wolves.
Yeah.
I just watched The Grey. It was great. So when we got to the Roman times, when we were doing really well in that part of the world, around Italy and stuff.
That was when men proudly raped men. Yes, that was a good time.
But still, there was development in terms of clothing, art, literature, buildings,
leather straps, big daggers,
they had aqueducts, they had sewage systems.
They did,
right?
Yeah.
But then from then onwards, like what year was that? Like Rome, when was Rome at its peak like that? Was that like?
I think like 300, like 1 to 300, 1 to 300 AD. I think it was like pretty peak.
Okay, and so from 300 onwards, then we have Christianity going around saying, let's burn all knowledge, right?
Yeah, and kill women.
And kill
stab
women
them in the cunt.
Looking at us the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so, so 300...
No, especially if they're menstruating. Fuck them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what, the Bible's pretty clear
filthy
about
animals.
With the unclean, with the pudendal cleft and everything.
Disgusting.
So, what do you think happened? What do you think would have happened by now if... Well, let's say there was no religion.
If there was no religion, I reckon the population of the Earth would be heaps bigger.
Oh.
And I reckon we would have, you know what else? Systems. I reckon there was I reckon we'd be like way more ahead in technology. Because I reckon there was heaps of like, this is like what is that stupid cunt that they burnt the library in Alexandria? Fucking Alexander the Great, they called him. So, yeah. Yeah, apparently, like we didn't even know what information's in those libraries. You know, like, just because the stupid cunts burnt them. Because guess what? Because their god was bigger than the other god. That's why. That's right. Oh, it was such a big god. Oh, my god's so big. Oh, my god's so big. Let's burn. Hey, seriously, my god just said, let's burn 3,000 years of human knowledge because my god loves me so much.
If I go back in time, I'm not just going to stop Hitler. That's a waste compared to what you just described. I'm going to save the Tower of Babylon. Just fucking go take a camera with me.
You know what I'd do? I'd go back. I'd change Alexander the Great's name to Alexander the Cunt.
Really?
That's what I'd do. He was one of the ones. He was like the leader of the guy that went to burn all the fucking library.
But you know, most humans were pretty useless.
You're talking about the Babylon one. I'm talking about a different one.
Ah.
Yeah.
What's
Babylon? I don't know. Babylon's library. Like Babylon's possibly non-existent.
Area. Oh, was it? Okay. What's the burning of the books of the
Victoria.
library?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Victoria.
On his pursuit of Pompey into Egypt in 48 BCE, Caesar was cut off by a large fleet of Egyptian boats in the harbour of Alexandria.
That's the library. That's where the library was.
The fleet was destroyed, but the flames spread to the city and the library. It's not known how much the library was.
They went and burned it. Oh yeah, the flames spread from the boats. Yeah, that sounds fucking.
Here is another.
That sounds amazing.
Why did they burn the Library of Alexandria?
There we go.
Ammianus Marcellinus thought that it happened when the city was sacked under Caesar, and Caesar himself reported the burning of Alexandria as an accidental consequence of his war against the great rival Pompey in 48 to 47 BCE. Right. Imagine living in those days. You've got to count backwards. Like fucking, what year is it? It's 47.
We're minus 47, bro. We're minus 47, bro. Yeah.
Fuck, you know what? It just really brings out how stupid religion is, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And we're
yeah, yeah.
still abiding by it. We're
I
still
know.
abiding by it.
You look at your wrist sundial, and
The
it's like
fucking
fucking. I got my latest sundial.
hey,
Have you seen it? It
look,
includes the fucking
I'm a
year.
Gregorian. Yeah, I'm a Gregorian. Yeah, yeah. Fuck off! I'm not a fucking Gregorian. You fucking shit cunt. What? What's with your leap year? You piece of shit.
What's
Fucking.
our current? Yeah, the leap year thing. That's a
Yeah,
big
fuck off, leap
debacle.
year. Then would
How long does it last for? Apparently, they do have to tweak everything every so often.
Yeah, because they're crap. They're crap at maths.
Well, I mean, things don't line up as nicely as they should.
I know.
Like,
I'm fucking taking the
No,
piss.
but the one weird thing that doesn't need to line up at all is days of the weeks don't need to be and months. You know, they're more like 13 in Ethiopia. They're not afraid of the number 13, so they say there are 13 moons a year because it takes 27 days for the moon to travel around the Earth, right?
Yeah.
And that's a month. But we didn't like the number 13 because
that's just us. Yeah.
Because you get 13 minutes in a year pretty nicely, right? But we went, no. We don't like 13 because
we want 12.
Judas.
We'll ignore that. We'll ignore that on the star system.
Yeah.
And all the astrologists can make money off the 12. All right? Don't worry about that.
We'll have
number
a poem
13.
to sort out why there are 31 in some months and 28 in others, whatever. We'll have a poem to explain.
I mean, why would you make February 28? Seriously, just make it 29 and then another one can be 30 or 31.
You can make them all 27. It'll just round out nicely. Let me just say what 365. I can't do Siri at the moment. I'll have to actually type it into my computer like a Neanderthal. 365 divided by 13 or 27, I should say. 27 days for the moon to travel around the Earth. The answer is 13.5.
Oh, that's dangerous.
You get 13 and a half months.
Yeah, no, that's just not going to work.
No.
Let's can we go get some slaves now?
To fill us some abacuses so we can
I'm sick of these numbers. Yeah.
Get the number 0.
Yeah. Okay, cuz, to be honest, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you.
Alright, let's see how easy it is to publish this. Say good night to everybody.
Good night, everybody. Love you all.
Good night, everybody.